Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Dugout Football channel. Welcome to the prestigious tournament in European football. It is the Champions League, and tonight we are doing a preview and predictions to the group stages. Yes, and I have managed to do mine as well, and we will see which two teams will go through and which teams go down to the Europa League. But we will see very, very shortly. But do join in by getting your predictions in the chat as well. As you can see, been joined by a fabulous panel. From Manchester United point of view, we have the lovely Sophie Richards. How are you, Sophie?
Okay. As a United fan, I would say okay. Smiling through the pain. But I'm all good. Thank you for getting me on, Doug. I hope you're good too, and I hope the guests are doing well.
I'm doing very well, thank you. And great to get you back on as well, which is always good to see. And we have, this man will be dreaming of being back in the Champions League. It's Mr. John Sinclair. How are you, mate?
Big up to Doug, Sophie, and big City fan Ray, and even to you guys, even to the chat as well. And yes, we had a good day today, and I'm so buzzing for tomorrow's Champions League game against AC Milan. It's our first time we're back in the elite competition for 20 years, and I'm buzzing. Do you know what I mean? I'm buzzing, and I'm just confident to do all right.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't blame you. I can't blame you. 22, 23 years away from the Champions League. It's so good to see Newcastle back. And he's making his debut on the channel. I'm delighted to get him on. Is Ray from City Fan TV. How are you, Ray?
I'm doing really well, mate. Doing really well. I'm going to struggle tonight. I've got a Scotsman. I've got it with these accents. I've got a Brummie, and what do you? I forgot what you called you guys. A YI man. John Sinclair. It's hard work.
Bristol born Newcastle, so I've been at Newcastle for a long time, and I do miss it, mate.
Are you going to translate for me, Doug?
I will try my best. Right. We are also streaming on John Sinclair's TV and also City Fan TV. So welcome. Hope you are all very well. Manchester, good evening. Ravi, big up, guys. Big up to Sophie on having a baby. Yes. Congratulations to Sophie as well.
Thank you.
Evening, L. Stapleton as well. Hope you're well. Can't wait for tomorrow. Come on, since antagonizing Geordie. I like that name. Yeah, it's great to see Sophie back on. She is amazing, such an inspiration, says Daniel Nicholson. And Kenny Fan TV says, big up, Sophie. So let us get things straight into it. We will go through these from obviously Group A to Group H, and obviously we will pick the two to go through, and the one to drop into Europa League, and the one to basically crash out of Europe altogether. Well, they may not be having a good season so far, but we start with Group A, and it is your boys, Sophie, Manchester United, Bayern Munich, Galatasaray, and FC Copenhagen. Thoughts on the group?
Could be worse, could be better. I think that's where we're at with that, really. Obviously, some tough tests. Galatasaray, the atmosphere there is going to be hard, and our players seem to crumble and any kind of pressure. And obviously we've got Bayern Munich first up this week. After the start of the season, the Champions League could make or break us, couldn't it? We could have a great game obviously this week, and it could spur us on, or it could be catastrophic. And at the minute, as a United fan, I just don't really know where we're at, to be honest with you. But I'm happy to be back in the Champions League. I love watching Champions League lights at Old Trafford under the lights. Just something really special about it. So yeah, I'm just relishing that competition, to be honest with you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Ray, Bayern Munich is an interesting one. Obviously, Kim Min-jae and Harry Kane are there now. Harry Kane left Tottenham to win trophies, but Bayern Munich actually did lose the Super Cup final to who was it? RB Leipzig.
Leipzig, yeah.
Kane, do you think he can spur Tottenham on? Thank you very much. Spur Bayern Munich on to Champions League glory.
Did you mean that pun, to spur Bayern Munich on? Actually, I'm just going to say, I actually think it's good that Man United are getting Bayern Munich out of the way. The truth is, all due respect, Soph, United are playing crap at the moment. Can you imagine?
That's being kind, to be fair, right? That's being kind.
But if they'd gone away to Copenhagen and got beat, there's no way they're going to beat Bayern Munich anyway. So I actually think getting the hardest game out of the way, while they're playing rubbish is good for them. Hopefully, for United's sake, they'll get some players back, and Ralph Ragnick, Mark II, Ten Hag will get them sorted out. But I think it's important to get this one out of the way as soon as possible. And Kane's on fire. He can't stop scoring. The way he's going, he's going to get more goals than Haaland this season.
Did any of you doubt that about Kane, though? Did any of you think, he's gone there? Like, I don't think he's going to. I never doubted for a second.
He was going to get. He was always going to get a ton of goals. He's always, because if he'd come to City, it's the same thing. Bayern Munich are going to create enough chances, and Kane is a really
a finisher. Yeah,
and I think he's got. When I look at Kane and Haaland, I think Kane actually probably has a better percentage finishing rate than Haaland. Haaland's taking, last game he had 5 good chances, he scores 1 goal. Kane walks away with a hat-trick. I think that's for me, that's the difference. Kane's up there, one of the best strikers in the world. And I put him down for a couple of goals tomorrow night.
Yeah, I think this will definitely, I think it's probably Bayern Munich's sort of group to. I think everyone will probably be expecting sort of Bayern Munich to win. But John, Galatasaray away is never easy. I mean, Galatasaray, if you actually look at their squads, they have a lot of ex-Premier League players: Wilfred Zaha, Davinson Sanchez, Hakim Ziyech. There's another couple actually, and Ndombele. I think he's gone there as well. Can Galatasaray cause a wee upset, do you think?
Excuse me, sorry about that. Just a shout on the deer. If a home form's got to be important. They got Mertens as well, by the way. I think he's still doing for Galatasaray as well. But it's a difficult place to go to at the Telecom Arena. So difficult, right? So.
Yeah,
if they're going to get through the next stage, it's all down to home games. And I think it's going to be between Galatasaray and Man United on the same group, I think. So I think it's going to be it's a tough group anyway. I mean, Bayern Munich is going to get through. Man United will have to start sorting themselves out, because I tell you now, they're not having a good season so far. And I think they need to sort themselves out. But Galatasaray is a tough group. And to me, they're an unknown quantity, these Turkish clubs. You don't know what they're going to do, but it's down to the passion of the fans at home. I think they're not very good travellers away, though, the Turkish side. They're not very good travellers away. I'm going to say that. But I honestly think that it's going to be between them and Man United. But Copenhagen, they'll make it tough. They don't play exciting football. They'll make it tough for you. But I think that it's going to be Bayern and Man United for me.
I had the privilege of asking Brian Robson and Gary Pallister a question, and I said to them, "What is the best atmosphere you've played in?" And they said, "I wouldn't say the best, but the most memorable atmosphere was when they played Galatasaray in Turkey." And they said the fans were in the ground literally 3 hours before the game kicked off, like it was bouncing, and it was the most memorable atmosphere, the most off-putting atmosphere they've ever played in, and they genuinely felt unsafe. And I'm just imagining these players, what we've got right now at United, atmosphere, and I don't feel confident. I really do not feel confident. So that tie away at Galatasaray is one that really worries me. Obviously, Bayern Munich worries me, but Galatasaray in particular, because of that atmosphere, and like you said, they've got a lot of players that we know of as well. Yeah, I'm really worried about that.
Yeah, I mean, Copenhagen. I mean, it's kind of nice to sort of see Højlund going back to sort of his first club.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Højlund is, the season that's been so miserable, I think he's one that actually a lot of United fans are really excited about. He's still very young, but I think he's got all the right attributes. He's got a desire as well. We haven't really given him the service. I think it's like Rashford's forgotten now that he's got a number 9, if you like, and who he can actually cross to, because it's like Rashford, he's just been so selfish at the minute. He's used to trying to do it on his own. And I still think, obviously, we're trying to embed him in, but I think his qualities and what he's shown so far, I think when he came on against Arsenal, he showed the physical attribute that he has as well. He's definitely a player that we can get excited about. And you all probably heard it on Twitter, the reaction to him going off at the weekend, for Tony Partial, as I like to call him, coming on. Like, it wasn't a positive reaction, because we want to see more of Højlund, and I am excited about him. And I think going back against his old team gives him a bit of extra incentive as well.
Yeah, 100%. Hello, Alec Johnson. Hello, Nathan. Kenny Fan TV. Everyone's coming in tonight. Predator Gaming as well. Who's Petkoff? I like that. Upper Mancano disaster class coming soon. We'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. I don't rate Upper Mancano, as many people do. Hi, Jordy. Liz Golden, hello, Liz. Hope you're well as well. Everyone is coming in, so thank you very much. Curlers is in as well. Sofin glowing. Hoyland will only work if they train Rashid across the effing ball.
It's right. It's like he's forgotten that he's got someone to aim for now. So many times again. And when he finally did it, obviously Hoyland scored, but he did it a second too late. Do you know what I mean? The ball obviously went out of play, but it's like he's forgotten that, I don't have to try and do it on my own now. There is someone there who can finish, and you just got to get used to doing that.
I suppose the question marks, Ray, is still about Thomas Tuchel, because a lot of people still think he's not really the right man for Bayern. Incidentally, he will be missing on the touchline tomorrow, because apparently his one match, he actually got sent off in his last Champions League game. The memory serve, I think it was Man City. I think he got sent off against. So he's going to be missing the game against Manchester United to tomorrow.
Yeah, no. You're right, people are. The thing is, you expect Bayern Munich to be winning pretty much all their games in Germany. Whenever they don't win, he had a tough end to the season where basically got by because Dortmund threw it away last season.
Yeah.
If Bayern hadn't won the league, who's to know if he'd be given the handsy, he'd have been given the flick, and maybe it all worked out and they got handsy flick back or whatever. But he's always going to be on thin ice because he's got to win the league, and he's got to do a lot and get deep in the cup. So I don't think he'll last the season. I really don't, because the expectations are so high. As soon as he slips, I think they'll be on his back.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think missing out on that Paulinho signing as well in the midfield. I think their midfield is a position definitely that I'd be concerned about. Not against United, because our midfield's just like a polo as well. Like, we just don't seem to have anything there at the minute. But genuinely, I think that midfield is a weak link for them. I know you mentioned Upamecano there, but I know Kimmich is there. A lot of people say he doesn't really control the game like he should do in that midfield position. I still think he's a class player, by the way. But I think someone like a Paulinho in there would have definitely improved their team. And I think you saw against Leipzig the vulnerability that they had, especially on the counter-attack. So, yeah, it could be an interesting one. I think if we go at them, I think there'll be a lot of goals in that game. Obviously, I still think we'll concede. But I definitely think we can score as well.
I saw a bit of their game. I saw a bit of their game on Friday night, and they started off really well. And you just thought, how much are they going to win by? Because they were just battering them, and then suddenly they were rubbish, and they were just getting walked through. So there's a little risk to them, but I don't see where the Man United firepower is going to come from. You
just need something to click, and at the minute, like you say, I just haven't seen that happening. I think it needs to come from something like a Højlund, I don't know, bullying up a Meccano, a mistake maybe. But what my point is, there definitely is frailties there. It's just about us obviously making the most of it. But for sure, it's going to be a tough test. But I do agree with you, Ray. I think getting this game out of the way first, I think, is beneficial to us.
Yeah, 100%. 100% agree. Right, it is time to get your predictions in. So I will show you what I have gone for in this one, if I can see what I've gone for. Yes, here we go. So this is what I have gone for. So I have gone for Bayern to win the group, Manchester United to finish second, Galatasaray to be third, and Copenhagen to be fourth. Sophie, how do you see this group going?
I think I agree with you, to be honest with you. I do think it'd be great for us to get at least a point against Bayern Munich this week, to put us in a good position. I do worry about that Galatasaray away game, like I've already mentioned. But like John said, I feel like our home games we need to make the most of. Obviously, at home against Brighton the other day, we were shocking. But I'm just hoping that a positive result against Bayern Munich really kicks us on this season.
Yeah.
And obviously, we've got certain players to come back from injury and whatnot as well. But I think I'd agree with you. I think Bayern will win the league. We will scrape second. I don't think we're going to easily get there. I think it's going to be tight. And I think Galatasaray will just miss out. And then, like you say, Copenhagen fourth.
John?
I'm going to go with Bayern Munich, Man United, and out of the two, I'm going to say Galatasaray. I think Copenhagen will be bottom of the league. I mean, Bayern Munich want to wrap up this group as quickly as possible, and I'm going to have to go with Harry Kane. He's on fire in a minute. Do you know what I mean? If they had Palhinha in the midfield, I'll tell you what, like Sophie said, it would have improved the midfield and Bayern as well. I think Thomas Tuchel will be there to the end of the season, in my opinion. I think he'll be replaced.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I think. And, you know, if I'm honest with you, and they're going to get someone, a better manager. Well, I would say better manager, but someone's going to be there. But for me, I'll go with that. I'll go with Bayern United.
Bayern United to go through. Ray?
Well, I'm certainly not going to have United going through. Let's get that. I'll go Bayern first. I mean, I just had a quick look at the Galatasaray squad. And like you said, you got Ziyech, you got Wolf Zaha, you got Tete. They got a few of the good players. They got Angelino, looks like Dries Mertens, Torreira, Tanguy Ndombele. You know, it's not actually looking a bad squad. Davinson Sanchez, and I don't know. I mean, they could spring a surprise, but let's go for Bayern, Copenhagen. Go on, Galatasaray and Man United.
I knew he was going to go there. I knew it.
Hey,
Interesting.
There's always one. There's always one.
Might scrape third, but I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah. I'll go for some of the comments. Liz Golden says it's great to see you, Soph. Kenny Fan TV says, I hate to say it's a Casemiro looked like a 50-year-old after the Brighton game. Steve, we're just predicting the preview, the groups. We're just predicting the groups and previewing them as well. Who's Perkov says, Eric has the hardest job in the world. He needs time. We have to be patient. So many channels overreacting for likes and subs. Kenny Fan TV is going 3-1 Bayern. Fingers crossed, mate. They've not held that many clean sheets, so there is goals, but we will see. Alex Johnson says United will go out, in my opinion. Hey, Kevin. Hello, mate. Hi, Sophie. Big up the rest of the panel. Ali News says, good. This is how it will be. Bayern, Man United, Galatasaray, and Copenhagen. I think we all agree with that, Douglas. Unless the poor form and injuries get worse, we should be second in that group. Absolutely. Hello, Mr. Tom28. Good luck on you for Champions League. I think that's to Newcastle. Static, hello, mate. Sideshow Mark, Ray. I don't mind us not being in the Champions League, says Kenny Fan TV. United will have to show more teamwork to be successful, and fair enough, Ray. Right, we will go on to Group B now. Well, we did try to find an Arsenal fan, but like they do in Europe, they don't usually turn up. Well, I didn't find one. So we'll go through their group. Sevilla, Arsenal, PSV Eindhoven, and RC Lons. Ray, this group, I've been kind of thinking about this. This looks like a Europa League group, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Without being hard.
You're right. You're right with Sevilla in there. Yeah, absolutely. So, no, it really does. I mean, not even that. Europa Conference League, because Arsenal haven't been in anything for a little while. That one's going to be a tough group, but I don't know. I mean, Sevilla, I don't think they started that well in Spain. I think Arsenal.
No.
Sevilla are saving themselves for Europa League anyway.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. So
I think we all kind of know that. Yeah,
it's a funny old thing because I think Arsenal will win comfortably. They should do. They should be winning that group very comfortably. But the question is, does Sevilla say, "Let's work hard, finish second, and get battered by a team that finished first in their group in the Champions League and get knocked out, and that's our Europe over," or do we just, play a bit under par and qualify for? Drop down to third, get in the Europa League and go for that instead. It's going to be. I think that's going to be the interesting one. I think Arsenal are going to walk that. Can't see anything else but that. And I'm going to go for PSV to finish second, Sevilla third, Lens will finish fourth.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, we all say it, Sophie, don't we? I mean, Sevilla, every time they get into a Champions League group, they always seem to want to finish third, and then they go down to Europa League, and we basically know what happens after that.
I've got some horrible memories of playing Sevilla. I hate playing Sevilla, and that was, honestly, I felt a bit relief when I got Bayern Munich over Sevilla, because genuinely I feel like we're cursed against that team. At least it'll be an entertaining game. I feel like I hate playing against Sevilla. But Arsenal, I don't think we've got the same curses as against them, so I agree with you guys. I think Arsenal should top that group. But Sevilla, I don't know, in European competitions, obviously we talk about Europa League and whatnot, but they always seem to pull something out of the bag. I don't know what it is. just seem to have that grind and that mentality. I mean, even against us, obviously last season, when Martinez got injured, we seem to have that game in the bag. And a bit like Liverpool at the weekend and Wolves, we didn't take our chances and then we got punished. But you always felt that Sevilla were in that game. And they've just got that about them in European competition. So you can't write them off for sure. I think Arsenal, the biggest worry for Arsenal is going into this complacent thinking, oh, this is an easy group. Because at the end of the day, Champions League, no game is an easy game.
No.
So, an interesting group, but Arsenal should come out on top.
I mean, obviously, John, I know you obviously, you obviously follow Scottish football. PSV smashed Rangers. They absolutely smashed them. Do you think they have a chance of getting through this group?
I'm gonna be honest with you, right? I mean, you can write Sevilla out all the time, but Sevilla always find a way, especially in the group stage as well. They've not had a brilliant start in the La Liga this season so far. They've not had a good start at all. PSV is doing well. Arsenal's doing fantastic. I can't lie. RC Lens, if they kept on to Fofana, I think they would have been our elite. But the problem is, losing him to Saudis has absolutely destroyed them, really. But they've not had a good start in the league in a minute. For me, I think PSV will probably be thereabouts in that group. But I have to go with Arsenal and Sevilla.
Arsenal, Sevilla. Interesting, Sophie?
I think I'm going to go with the same, just because of my horrible memories of Sevilla. I can just see them scraping through again. They just seem to be that team. But a bit like I said with us and Galatasaray in our group, I think it'll be tight though. May come down to the last game, see who gets second. I think it'll be tight, but yeah, I'm going to go for Sevilla just nicking it. So Arsenal first, Sevilla second.
Interesting. Well, funnily enough, Ray, you and I are on the same wavelength here, because I have actually gone Arsenal first, PSV second, Sevilla third, and RC Lens fourth. I just think Sevilla are just going to go into Europa League. I think they're just looking at that Europa League thinking, yeah, we'll go in it. We'll basically go in the Champions League, try our very, very best to scrape second. If we don't get second, we at least get third. And yeah, they'll probably go in the Europa League and probably win it, which will probably happen anyway. But guys, let us know what some of you are saying for this group, because it's not an easy group. And by the way, if you are enjoying the stream, please do hit that like button. It has got very, very dark all of a sudden, so I will have to I have to put the light on in the living room very, very shortly. Let us have a look. It's funny because it's true, says Liz. By the way, Sophie looks very comfy lying in bed, says Sideshow Mark.
I have to pad myself with cushions nowadays. I apologise, but it has to be done, guys.
Absolutely. Lens is a good team, to be honest. Yes, it is. Get in, John. How are the lads? Says Alan Graham.
Come on.
Kenny Fan TV says, I hope Arsenal go to the Europa, at least something to cheat about. Hello, Nippon. Hope you're well. Gaz is in. Glazer's out now. Acid's in. So Douglas, hello. Will be not that easy with Sevilla. No, absolutely not. 2-1-2 win the Mara neat, says Alan Graham. Shane's gone Bayern, Man United, Galatasaray, Copenhagen. I think everyone meant for that, except Ray, of course. Arsenal are a really dodgy team in Europe. They never seem to have that mentality to grind out results when needed. That is very, very true, curlers. Arsenal will go through, but we'll get Bayern at the round of 16. I like your thinking. Kenny. Group B, Arsenal, Sevilla, PSV, Lens. Big up Troy Taylor as well. Arsenal, Sevilla, PSV, says Alinus. Welcome back, Soph, after so long, says Farhan Akhtar. I think I pronounced that horribly wrong, sorry. At least next season, Sevilla can't finish third place next season because of the new format. Yes, that's very, very true. This is the last year of the this format as well, which is going to be very interesting to say the very, very least. Carlos and even to Acid. Sevilla more Europe experience than Arsenal. And Nippon's got Arsenal, Sevilla, PSV, Lens. Going with the 2-0, be massive win away if we take the win. The man executioner. Big up Soph. We can't look any further than.
It's back. It's back. Is he back?
I am back. Hello, George Kyle. I think we're getting battered by Bayern, sadly. And Siobhan, nice to see you, mate, as well. Right, Group C now. Group C. Yeah, interesting group, this one. Napoli, Real Madrid, Braga, and Union Berlin. So, how do you see this going? This is a tough group, I think. I think you probably say Napoli and Madrid probably 1 and 2, but then again, you can't really write out Union Berlin, who are in the Champions League for the first time ever.
Of course, like I said earlier, there's no easy game. I mean, Real Madrid are just the mentality monsters, aren't they? And I have to say, Jude Bellingham is a player that I've admired for a while now, from local to me, of course, as well. So he's a player that I follow very, very closely. And what a player he is. He's just been outstanding. I think even I've seen him play for England as well in the week. Like, he's just a special, special talent. So for me, like, having someone like that, Vinicius on form as well, I think Real Madrid will top the group. But let's not write off Napoli. They had a great Champions League win last year as well. Obviously, we know the firepower that they've got. I think it'll be tight, but I think Real Madrid will top it. Napoli second, which I know is predictable. A lot of people probably will say that. Braga and Union Berlin. I'm going to say Braga third, I think. And then Union fourth. Yeah, I'm going to go for that. But I do think Real Madrid will win. And like I said, Jude Bellingham is a special, special player as well.
Interesting. John, it's safe to say Napoli haven't started Serie A very well, have they?
They haven't really, no. I mean, they only just beat Frosinone the first game. And then they came back for 2-0 drawn against Genoa the last game as well. So they really got away with that one, Harris. But they lost to Lazio at home. And, I mean, you got Rudy Garcia taken over from Luciano Spalletti. And basically, right, it's a hard act to follow, yeah? They still got the same team. They've got a couple of players coming in. They need time to settle in as well. But it all depends on Kvaratskhelia. If he turns it on, I tell you what, this guy is going to be a world beater. He's a world beater in my book as well. Real Madrid, they're a special team, aren't they? Jude Bellingham, like Sophie mentioned, special team. Braga, they're so attractive to watch.
Yeah.
And very attractive. Union Berlin, they're known in quantity as well in the Champions League. It's their first time in history, and they're a real tough side to beat. And Juranovic came from Celtic, is joined in January, and they play a back three, 3-4-3 attacking football. But at the end of the day, I mean, that is a hard one. It really is a hard one. I'm going to say Real Madrid, Napoli, but I have to say Braga, but do not be surprised if Union Berlin gets that Europa League spot. But I'm going to go with Braga just.
Interesting. I mean, Ray, one of the most impressive performances last season was Manchester City beating Real Madrid 4-0 at the Etihad. I mean, you were there, weren't you, for that game, weren't you?
No, I'm trying to remember. I was probably working because I'd been out a lot. I'm trying to remember what games I went to and what I didn't. I don't remember going to that one for that game because I'm sure I was working that night. Because if I was there, I'd still be buzzing from because it was a massive performance. I mean, to beat someone like Real Madrid, to beat them is one thing.
The way you did it as well, yeah.
The way we dismantled them, especially after what happened the season before as well. You know, to put that behind us and to come out and absolutely batter them. I think everybody's just sat up and took notice because it's like finally City are doing it consistently in the Champions League. So that was a top night. We're losing everybody.
I'll put you right. I can still hear you.
It's just you and me. It's you and me. So anyway, Liverpool. I hate.
I was turning the light on. To be fair, it's really dark in here.
It's like United season. It's over already. It's gone all dark for them.
All right.
Last season was always. The thing is, last season it was always making fun of Liverpool, and like they pulled the finger out a bit, so we can't make fun of them at the moment. But no, I think this is going to be a decent group. But I think Union Berlin, I think I'm going to have them to come third. I think they had a good season last season. They started off well this season. They won the first two league games, and then they lost the last two. But I think they're a good enough side. I think I'm going to have them to grind it out to get to third. But you can't see past Real Madrid. I think Napoli, they've kind of fallen away a bit, haven't they? I mean, they won Serie A quite easily, but in the Champions League, didn't do themselves justice, and I don't think they started well enough. But I can still see them getting second. They've got enough good players. That Osimhen, I think he's the business, and it's a funny old thing, If United, I'm going to mention them, but they need a striker. They need a proper striker.
100%. And the thing is, right? I mean, the Højlund, right? I mean, sorry to cut in, man. Højlund's going to be a good player. He's going to be fantastic. I follow his career at Atalanta. One season there, scored 10 goals there, and he's done really well. But to pin a 19-year-old kid, 20-year-old kid, 72 million quid, you're putting pressure on the lad already. Do you know what I mean? Give the lad time in the Premier League. Because at the end of the day, he's going to be a world beater, this guy. Give him plenty of time, and he'll come through a shine.
I mean, one of the options United had was not to buy Onana, for argument's sake, not to buy Onana, not to buy Højlund. Put all your money, all that money that they spent on Onana and Højlund into Osimhen and keep De Gea.
Totally agree.
I think they'd have been better off doing that.
Kane.
Onana's
I mean, I know it would be hard to get Kane because Levy would have obviously.
You wouldn't got
I
Kane,
always wanted Kane. But
I tell you what, though, Man United got Osimhen, right? I'm going to be honest with you, and they got a proper defender at the back alongside Varane and maybe Martinez as well. And Amrabat is going to be good. Yeah. Trust me, he is going to be fantastic when he's up together. Man United could challenge for the flipping title. Do you know what I mean?
But they haven't
got a world class. They haven't got a world class striker. That's the problem.
Yeah. They went out and got Onana the banana. Well, that's what it's turned out to be, hasn't it?
Exactly. 1.2 billion quid. 1.2 billion they spent, and now it's a short for him again. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it was messed up as well by the fact that obviously there was talk about the takeover and whatnot, and it's dragged all through the transfer window. That's why I feel a bit for Ten Hag. Like, are we for sale? Aren't we for sale? All of a sudden, now that we've lost, we got battered at the weekend. There's talks again that apparently there's progress with the sale, and we just keep getting these little leaks, and there's actually been no movement with it. So we kind of just got our hands tied behind our back. I feel like if the takeover happened, we would have gone in for like Kane. I know we would have probably spent loads for him, but I don't know. Like you say, we've spent money, but it's where we're spending the money. We've said this for many, many years now. I mean, Harry Maguire is a typical example of that. And then we can't get these players off our books. And it's the same old vicious cycle that we've seen for many years at United, and it's frustrating. Onana, I like him, but like you say, was that really a priority that we needed sorted there? And then no. And it's just frustrating to see as a fan, obviously, the constant rumours and the constant leaks. We're linked to every player under the sun. I dread to think how many it was in the summer. But until this takeover is cleared and whatever's happening with it, like, we don't know where we stand. Are we for sale? Aren't we for sale? Like, just
you're not for sale, really.
No, we're not.
Nah.
Every time we lose, there's progress in the sale talks. Every time we lose, and it's just PR, and we are PRFC. It's just constant leaks, just to try and cover up the cracks, and it has been for so long now. And it's frustrating.
The thing is, I mean, your manager's gone out and bought players. He's paid way too much for players that he knows. So Martinez, he's got Anthony last season. That's way too much money. You're getting really mugged off, and then you can end up with players that.
But obviously Ten Hag needs to have a say in it. But should the signings be coming down to Ten Hag? Where's our scouting team at? Why are we looking at players like Sergio Reguilon? No disrespect to him, but we shouldn't be looking at players exactly. It all comes from above. It's shocking.
At the end of the transfer window, you're out of money. You're looking at loan deals for players.
Yeah.
Offering £2 million for a loan deal.
It's shocking. And it's again, it's totally wrong because I mentioned Maguire, and it's not just him, so I know he gets a lot of flack. It's not just him. That's just one example of players that we overspend for. I mean, Rashford's a new deal now. We've just given Rashford ridiculous money, and then look at the form that he's in. He's walking around the pitch, and we just don't seem to learn our lesson. We're only just getting rid of the likes of Phil Jones off our books. You know what I mean? And it's just like, if you look at other top clubs compared to us, our whole strategy from the top to the bottom is just totally wrong. And that's why, like you said, we were out of money. That's why we were panicking and looking for deals like that at the end of the market. Amrabat, we've waited till completely the end of the market. We've ended up getting him on a loan deal.
I have no idea why you kept that to the end of the market.
We were linked with him back in, the start of June.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, why? And it's just so badly run. And obviously, I'm not going to act like I'm an expert. I'm not a businesswoman or anything like that. Like, this is why I'm a fan, and I'm not an expert on it. But look at how every other club is run compared to how we're run, and it's shocking. And we just never seem to learn our lesson by loading out these massive wages for these players, and then we can't get rid of them. And it's just so frustrating to see.
I'll just show you what I've gone for. Real Madrid, Napoli, Union Berlin, and Braga. I think Union Berlin. I've watched them a lot. I watch a lot of Bundesliga, so whenever the Bundesliga's on, I'll obviously watch it. And Union Berlin are a very, very good side. I know for a fact that they're not playing at their home stadium. They will be playing, believe it or not, at the Olympiastadion in Berlin. So basically, their rivals, Hertha Berlin, they're allowing them to play at the Olympiastadion. So that should be good. That should be very, very good indeed. But let us see what some of you are saying for this group. George Kell says Martinez has fallen off a cliff from last season. Better shot stopping than Nana. Wasted 55 million from me. 6-1 Jekyll. A lot of clean sheets were from facing no shots. Let's see if anyone's predicted for this one. Manchester is blue. So I was first would have had Kane and Rice at United. Yeah, interesting to say the very least. Napoli brought 3 good players in the summer. They only need some games to play together. They only sold Kim. Yeah, I think the fact that they kept Osimhen is very interesting, actually.
I didn't think they were going to be fair. I didn't think they were going to keep him. I thought they were going to sell him. Obviously, we were linked with him a lot. I know Arsenal were linked and stuff as well. I was surprised when they kept holding him. He's a great player.
I don't think anybody was going to offer enough for Osimhen. Only Chelsea could have bought him this summer. Nobody else, because Napoli were not going to sell him for anything under 120, 130 million. I can see him maybe moving on next summer.
Yeah. George says Real, Napoli, Union Berlin, and Braga. An old lucky thing. Leave club immediately. Glazers after this loss. Well, we'll move on. We'll move swiftly on, and we'll move to Group D. I mean, Benfica, Inter Milan, Red Bull Salzburg. I think it's I think you're allowed to call them Red Bull Salzburg, and Real Sociedad. So Benfica. A lot of clubs have kind of gone in for their players. Obviously, Goncalo Ramos is gone now, which I think he would have been another good signing for United. Goncalo Ramos.
There's another one that we were linked. Well, to be fair, it's saying that we were linked with every man and his dog, I think, but. Yeah, that's a tough one to call, I think, that group. Benfica, I think, not a lot of players, like you say, but I think they're always there or thereabouts, that they're a good side. Leipzig, obviously, very, very good team. I think that's a really hard, out of all the groups so far, and we've kind of all had the clear first and second. This one, I think, is a lot harder to call. I don't know what you guys think, but this one, I feel like it's a bit more of the unknown. I don't really know what to expect from these teams in Europe this season. I think this is a tough one to call. But Benfica, I know they've got rid of a lot of players, but I always think they're a solid unit. So it'd be interesting to see how they get on after losing those players.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Ray, obviously, you would have obviously seen Inter Milan last season. It was a bit of a surprise that they made the final. Yeah,
I think it was a surprise. And I think the way they could have won that game. Edison.
They did well at the weekend as well.
Yeah. They did well at the weekend. They've won, 4 out of 4? Scoring goals for fun. They've got 13 goals in the league in 4 games. Not conceding much. I think they let 1 goal in as well. So for me, I think they're in form. I think they're the best side of the 4.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, I can see them winning. The rest of them, wow, it's a tough one. I think Real Sociedad, that's where David Silva was. He's out. He's obviously retired now from that injury. So they're going to miss him. I'm trying to think who's going to finish second. I'm going to go Salzburg. Let's go for Salzburg second, Benfica third, Sociedad fourth. But it's a hard. I think that's probably the toughest group to call. A lot.
I just realised as well I said Leipzig, didn't I, rather than Salzburg? Yeah. I apologise for that. I didn't mean to say that, but I apologise for that.
Easy mistake to make.
I didn't realise at the time, and then now I've just thought, hang on, I swear I said Leipzig just. But yeah, I think Benfica and Inter Milan probably top 2. I'd probably agree with Ray. Inter probably running away with it, but the other 3 are really hard to call.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is as well, John. I know obviously we're talking about Salzburg. They've kind of had a bit of joy recently in getting into the last 16. Do you think they could maybe cause a wee surprise? Because away in Austria, you never know.
It's a tough place to go to, Salzburg. It really is, yeah. But they've got some good players there as well. But could it cause surprise? They could, but they got to get past Inter and Benfica. Inter, fantastic start of the season, yeah. I mean, Thuram and Lautaro, both up front, fantastic. They work well with each other. The back three, fantastic. They don't concede a lot of goals, yeah. They batter Milan 5-1. Let's be real. I mean, I think Milan's going to come close again. I think Simone Inzaghi's done a fantastic job with that team, yeah. They could have got rid of him, but they chose not to because at the end of the day, they believe in this guy. And if I was an Inter Milan fan, I tell you what, I'll give this guy a 4-year deal because he's going to do something special with Inter. I really do. Yeah, I know they do play attacking football, they play back three. That's just his preferred formation. However, the other two, Benfica, I like Benfica. They look a really good team. They pass the ball well. They're quick. They're free-flowing as well. They've got fantastic fans, especially at home. And Real Sociedad, look, I think it's good to see it back in the Champions League, but they're going to find this group so hot to handle as well.
Yeah.
For me, I'm going to go with Inter, and I'll go with Benfica and Salzburg making the Europa League. And Sociedad, I think there could be a couple of years away then giving it a real go on the group stage. Right in a minute, the group there looks very difficult for them. Inter, Benfica.
Yeah, I think everyone's kind of going for this. Well, I've gone for Inter to finish first, Benfica second, Sociedad I've gone third, interestingly enough, Salzburg fourth. But again, it's a bit of it's a toss of a coin between those last two, Sociedad and Salzburg. I think it's going to be between Benfica and Inter Milan as well. But I would imagine, Ray, that Inter Milan are probably glad to see the back of Lukaku.
I think politely we can call him a donkey. He missed too many.
He was City's best defender in that final, wasn't
Absolutely. Him and Edison saved us from jaws of defeat. He was great watching him play. It's like he was back at Man United the way he was playing for Inter. It's incredible. But no, hey, we're going to thank our lucky stars that he was playing, and he had a bad game.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You know what it is. You know what it is, right? I mean, I don't know if you heard about Lukaku. I mean, that cost him a move full time to Inter because, Inter were going to have him. He spoke to Juventus behind Inter's back, and they're both rivals.
Yeah.
You don't talk to your rivals behind your current club's back. You just don't do that. So Juve fans had a go, said, "Do not sign this guy." Yeah, Vlahovic, at a minute, he's levels above Lukaku. I don't care what anyone say. Yeah. I think Vlahovic is going to get 20 goals this season. That guy has been fantastic.
Yeah, and there should have won that final if that bastard Lukaku could shoot straight. So George, Marcus Thuram is another interesting one. Inter Milan have actually recruited really, really well this season. They really, really have. I think they could. And actually, a name that actually came to mind. Sorry to say this, but Angel Di Maria is actually back at Benfica, where he sort of started. So that
I'm
could
so
be
gutted about Di Maria because when he first came in, I always think of that chip he scored against Leicester. And honestly, I'm excited Di Maria, and it just obviously went wrong very quickly. But I was always really gutted about that. That's one move that I just wish worked out because I think he showed real quality in those early games, and a good player, Di Maria, obviously.
He is a good player.
Still waiting for Eddie's presser. At least they've landed now. So it's Il Stapleton. I think the closest group will be Group E, which we'll talk about soon. Matson, hello,
as well. So Gosbeg as well for that. Newcastle are going to be in big trouble for that. They're going to face the UEFA probe for that. For landing
What's that?
Late. They're going to be charged for landing late. Together, they're going to be in big trouble. According to the Daily Mail, that they face a UEFA probe for breaking Champions League rule before they kicked a bar. So they could be in big trouble for that, for missing their pre-match media.
Oh dear. Alex, hello from Greece, City Till I Die. Hello, Alex. Hello, Matt. Looking forward to Wembley. Need this new song for Bernardo, says Sean C. Well, if you thought Group D was very difficult to predict, I think this is the difficult group to predict so far. This is it. Feyenoord, Atletico Madrid, Lazio, and Celtic. Yes, Celtic back in the Champions League under the Brodge, of course, Brendan Rodgers. Yeah. Now, this is the group I like to say the group of atmospheres, because we've got the Wanda Metropolitano, we've got the Stadio Olimpico, we've got Celtic Park, and is it the Philips Stadion? Feyenoord. I mean, their fans are crazy. I mean, the Dutch fans are absolutely crazy, to say the very, very least. I mean, John, I know you do follow Celtic. Do you have any chance of Celtic getting through this group?
Of course, finish the top of the table, no problem. Nah, it's a difficult one for Celtic. Really, really difficult. It really is. I mean, you got Atletico Madrid under Simone, going to make it so hard for you. You know what I mean? They're just going to spoil the things as well under Simone as well. I still think it's a quality manager. I don't get on to say. Lazio, not the best of starts in Serie A. 3 defeats in 4 under Sarri, but they do play some cracking stuff, by the way. Feyenoord under Arne Slot, I think he's one of the best young coaches in the world for me. I think he's brilliant. And they also got one of our players out on loan, Yankubu Minte, out on loan, and he's doing well. He scored a goal in the last game, and it's pace and power. And if Celtic's going to get anything from that game, then they got to close them down. They've also got Sebastian Jimenez as well, a Mexican guy. He looks a good player. He looks really good as well. And you look at Lazio, they got Forfachel, the goalkeeper. He looks fantastic in goal. He's brilliant. One of the most out-of-sort goalkeepers in Italy. And also got Matteo Guendouzi as well. Remember him?
Yeah, I do remember him. Yes, yeah. But there is one name you have not mentioned, and Soph, Milinkovic-Savic is no longer at Lazio. How big of a loss is Milinkovic-Savic to Lazio?
It's a huge loss, big time. Huge loss. I mean, Kamada called the match channel. He looks a good player. He really looks good. And I think for me, looking at that, Atletico Madrid to get through. I know they will. And out of the rest of them, I love to say Celtic, but I'm going to take a gamble. Celtic, Europa League. Atletico Madrid, Lazio.
Interesting. Soph?
So hard. I mean, a lot of people in the chat, I've just been reading the comments as well, and I agree with, I don't know who said it, but they said Atletico in Europe are very hit and miss. Like, we know like how resilient they can be in Simeone, they know the tactics and they can rattle teams and whatnot, but I don't know, it's very hit and miss. I don't know if they're going to come out of the group. I think they'll go through, but I'm not that assured that they're going to win the group, to be honest with you. I don't know, I never feel entertained watching Atletico. I'm more entertained watching the manager, to be honest with you. Like, they bore me. But they get results, and we know that that's just how they play. They rattle teams and get under the skin. So I think I'm going to say, so hard to call. Feyenoord, Atletico, Celtic.
Interesting, Ray.
Well, I'm going to start from the bottom. I'm fourth Celtic. As Matt said it there. You know, they finished bottom last season with Ange, and they're not as good this season. They don't look under Rodgers at the moment as good. So I'm going to have them finishing last. I think Atletico, as I said, they hit and miss. They won 2 this season in the league, drawn 1, lost 1. They got battered by Valencia at the weekend, 3-0.
Yeah.
But they had a 7-0 away win. Was it against Vallecano before that? So they're a bit up and down, but I think they'll grind enough out to get through. I'm going to go for... I'm just deciding who's going to win it. I'm going to go for Atletico to win their group. Feyenoord second, Lazio third, and Celtic wooden spoon.
Wow. You're not being confident, Ray, are you, man?
I'm not even sure they're going to get any points.
I'm sorry to say, John, I'm absolutely in agreement.
Come on.
Yeah, I've got Atletico first, Feyenoord second, Lazio third, and Celtic fourth. Celtic's points will probably come at home. I think that's the one thing that I will say. If they're going to get any points, Celtic, it will be at home. But Brendan Rodgers has a dreadful record in the Champions League. He was really bad with Liverpool. He was really bad with Celtic. The last stint as well. And I mean, it's not a bad group, but it's sort of. Atletico Madrid are, as Sophie said, hit and miss. Atletico Madrid actually finished 4th in their group last season. They had a group of Porto, Club Brugge, and Bayer Leverkusen, and they finished 4th. So
shocking.
They are hit and miss, but I fully expect them to win this group. But again, like you say, Sophie, you never know Atletico.
Never entertained by them as well. It's never entertained. So that's why I feel like Ray said, they seem to find it out, don't they? But yeah, we'll see.
Absolutely indeed. Well, I think John knows what group is coming next, because for the first time 23 years ago, Newcastle United are back in the Champions League, and what a tough group this is. Paris Saint-Germain, Borussia Dortmund, AC Milan, and Newcastle United. First of all, John, how are you feeling being back in the Champions League? And secondly, what a group. Welcome back to the Champions League.
It is what it is, my guy. First of all, it's great to be back after 20 years. I mean, what a fantastic job Eddie Howe's done at the football club, and he's got us there. And I was expecting an easier tie, you know. Let's be real. I didn't expect an easy tie. I expected like this. I knew this would come, yeah. But what you have to understand is look at those three teams you're facing. Borussia Dortmund, 1997 Champions League winner. PSG, one of the best team in France, yeah. AC Milan, won the Champions League multiple times, yeah. World-class players in the past as well, man, yeah. And Newcastle's betting their wits against those three. I'm looking forward to it, you know. I really am. And I tell you something else as well. I think we're going to get out of the group. I really do. And I'm saying that. I'm not saying because I'm winding people up. I'm saying it because I think the home games is going to see us through. They were not like coming up to Newcastle. Now, AC Milan went to Celtic, and their fans could not believe it. The passion of Celtic. They would not know what would hit them at St James's Park. I think tomorrow we're gonna put it on Milan. I think we're gonna give it a right go against Milan. Put it on them. You know what I mean? I mean, they got battered by 5-1. Dortmund's in a crisis at the minute. Yeah, they're not winning games in the Bundesliga. PSG is hitty missy. Yeah, I truly believe for the first time, I think we're going to get second in this group. I really do think that, because I think the home game's going to make count, and I think we'll get something tomorrow. And
I mean, I've got to say, from obviously like watching like from sort of afar, sort of like Bundesliga recently, so Borussia Dortmund just don't seem the same team to me this season.
No, definitely not. I agree with John. I think those home games for Newcastle will be crucial. The atmosphere that obviously it's at James's, and you just know they're going to be up for it, because obviously back in Champions League after 20 years, like you say, you just know it's going to be absolutely rocking. I think the toughest test is PSG in that group. And I agree. I think that you'll get out of the group as well. I really do. I think you can beat AC Milan and Dortmund. They're a bit hit and miss. But I think the home games are going to be more crucial. Obviously, the away games that you've got in that group for the fans is incredible, to be back in the Champions League and have those sort of away games. But the home games, I think, will get you guys through. I really do. And I think you'll go through second. I think my prediction is probably PSG and then Newcastle to go through.
Can I just ask a quick question, right? I'm going to pull it out there. Who's the last team in the Champions League, lost the first 3 games and won the next 3 games and qualified for the next group, for the group stage?
Was it Newcastle?
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that.
So I'm actually looking at the fourth match day, Ray. AC Milan PSG, Donnarumma, if he thinks that I think he got booed by Italy supporters when they were playing in the recent sort of European qualifier. He ain't going to know what's going to hit him when he returns back to Milan.
It's going to be a tough evening for him when he goes back to Milan. And as guys have said, it's obviously a group of death. But when that group came out, I remember I was chatting with Bernard, and I said I thought at the time, from what they'd done last season, I thought Newcastle would get through. But the season's a bit icky at the moment And I hope that Eddie Howe manages to turn it around and get them back playing the way they were playing last season. But I'm gonna back Newcastle to get through. I'm gonna have Milan finishing 4th, Newcastle 2nd, and then Dortmund 1st, PSG 3rd.
Dortmund 1st?
PSG getting knocked out because
wow,
they had their few years of getting to the final, getting to the semi. Now. Last season, they were a mess. I just don't think they're going to recover, and they've not had a.
It's the mentality of PSG, isn't it? They're like just a team of individuals. You see, like a lot, and you saw Mbappe moaning at the opposition celebration at the weekend, and you're thinking like, what? They just seem like to me like a team just spoiled. And I think if Newcastle unsettle them, for example, like they can definitely cause them issues. So I think it's a good point. It could go either way with them too.
Yeah, I think when PSG go to St James's Park, I think Newcastle will batter them. They've got this problem sometimes of going away from home and getting embarrassing themselves. And I think Newcastle have got the capacity to get an early goal with the fans, 50,000 fans behind them. I think PSG could get battered there.
Right. Well, you guys have gone for really, really different predictions. Here's mine, group. Apologies to every Newcastle United. I do think you will go into Europa League. I do think you'll go into Europa League, but I've actually got Milan finishing 1st. I think they're going to have a better Uefa Champions League campaign. I know they did get to the semis last season, but again, they were a bit hit and miss last season. Paris Saint-Germain, again, they're another team that are hit and miss. Obviously they've lost Messi, they've lost Neymar. Watched a bit of their game at the weekend, and the defensively they're still not the best, is what I'll say as well. I've actually got Dortmund finishing 4th. I think Dortmund have started the season really, really badly, and as well they were 2-0 up against Heidenheim in the Bundesliga, I think a couple of weeks ago, and they drew 2-2. And I just look at that and I'm like, I just have a feeling that Dortmund. I don't know what it is with them. But for me, I just don't think they're that great a side at the moment. And I don't think Terzic last the season. I think you're actually looking in the Bundesliga potentially now. I think probably it's going to be between Bayern Munich and Bayer Leverkusen, because the way Bayer Leverkusen have started, and I know they're not in the Champions League, but they've started really, really well. So I think Dortmund are going to fall away. I really am not confident with Borussia Dortmund, but as we say, it is all about opinions at the end of the day. But we will move on. Please do remember to keep your predictions in the chat as well. And we will move on to Rays, boys, because it's Group G, Manchester City, RB Leipzig. How many times do you play RB Leipzig? Crvena Zvezda, which is obviously Red Star Belgrade, I should say, and Young Boys. You must be very, very happy with this group, Ray.
City to finish 4th. I'm saying it now. City to finish
4th. Yes, you're lying there in your Newcastle top, Sophie, and predicting that. Right? No, look,
it's green. It's green.
It doesn't look green, but look, yeah, it was a cracking draw for City. You couldn't have asked for better, really. Without being big-headed or arrogant about it, I expect us to stroll through that qualifying group. I think in Manchester, we haven't lost for years. I don't think we lost it for years at home. A lot of games. So I think that's, I think as George says, 16 points. Yeah, I think we'll lose it a bit at the end. I think we'll win the first probably 3 or 4 games and then stagger and not be that fussed. Although Pep wants to win every game, and it's useful to win every game because you do get a bit of money for doing so. But yeah, I think that's it's an easy group, and actually I think it's going to finish in the way they popped out. You've got City, Leipzig, Red Star, and Young Boys will be the whipping boys, I think, in that group, and I think it's an easy qualification for City, and we can focus on the league again.
Yeah, absolutely. Sophie, you're gonna have to go.
Very shortly, but of course I'll give a prediction. Man City should run away with it, like you say. Leipzig 2nd. I think I agree with what Matt's channel said there. Red Star, and then Young Boys 4th. And I think City for this one, it's an opportunity for you to rotate. Obviously, we know how mad your squad is. But I think you'll be able to rotate for these games and easily get through this group. I really do. And I'm just envious of your group. I'm not gonna lie, it's a good group. But yeah, you've got to be feeling confident as a City fan with that.
Yeah, I mean, John. The only way I think you'd have to say it's City's group to lose.
Well, I won't say too much on it, but Man City will love that draw. They'll love that draw. I mean, Leipzig's played City so many times, yeah, but Red Star Belgrade, the atmosphere in Belgrade is fantastic. Fantastic atmosphere over there. Let's be real, yeah. And the young boys, just looking at the numbers, really, to be fair, I can't lie. But
yeah,
Man City could play the B team and they still get out of that group.
Yeah, I think we're all in an agreement with this one. I think we're all in agreement here. So Group G, Man City, basically the way the group reads: Man City, Leipzig, Crvena Zvezda, and Young Boys there as well. Right, we will very, very, very quickly go on to Group H. And this is an interesting group, I think, Sophie. Barcelona, Porto, Shakhtar, and Royal Antwerp.
It is an interesting one. I'll be honest, I like Porto. I always have done. Porto are a team that I've always really enjoyed watching. Obviously, Barcelona, we know all about Barcelona. Barcelona aren't the team that obviously been known to be in the past, but they're obviously sending lots of Joe Felix and whatnot. Barcelona, Porto, Shakhtar, because I feel like the atmosphere that they create there, it's not a nice fixture to go to. And then Antwerp fourth is my prediction for that one.
Yeah, I mean, Ray, I think it's safe to say a lot of people like to call Barcelona Brocolona.
Yeah.
with the amount of transfers that they've tried to get, and obviously they definitely are broke as well. It's going to be weird as well because they're not actually playing in the new camp this season as well, Barcelona.
Yeah, because obviously doing that big redevelopment, I don't know where they got the money for that. That's going to cost a lot of money to redevelop. But Barcelona, I mean, they're so lucky. They always manage to find a way. Almost always managed to find a way to get the money. They got Gundogan in from City. I think he's injured now for a bit. They still got that pull that they can get players on the cheap, players to defer their wages and stuff like that. And get players on free transfers and just pay them a signing on fee. That's the Bayern Munich way, isn't it? Get the guys in from Germany, paying on a signing on fee, and that's it. But they've got the money. They can have it's going to be difficult in some respects not playing at the Camp Nou, but I think they'll be too strong. When you got, I think, looking at that, I'll agree with the Sofa. I think Barcelona will win that. Porto second, Shakhtar third, and Royal Antwerp will be bringing up the rear.
Yeah, did you give any chance to Royal Antwerp, John?
For me, I have to agree with you guys. I mean, Barca will be too strong in that group. Porto second, Shakhtar the next third, and Antwerp to pop up the rest as well. And look, talking about Barca, they try to get Isak as well, try to unsettle our team before the Champions League. Let's be clear, right? They can't afford Isak. It'd be more than 60 million quid, let's be honest. And I'm not even going to look at it because at the end of the day, right, it's just laughable. But Barcelona to win, Porto send.
I mean, Barcelona, I think, tried to get a number of players in the summer, and they didn't. I think they were actually in for Osimhen, which I was like, how can you afford Osimhen when you got Lewandowski? They actually tried to tempt Trent Alexander-Arnold to leave Liverpool to go to Barcelona. That was never happening as well. But Porto are difficult. They're very, very difficult. And I don't think this is going to be as clear-cut as many people think. But I have actually gone for, I think, practically most of the same. Barcelona, Porto. I'm actually going Antwerp third. I'm going for a surprise. I'm actually going to go for Royal Antwerp to finish in the Europa League and Shakhtar to finish in fourth. But there we go. There we go. That is the Champions League preview and predictions. Remember to like, share, and subscribe as well. And a big thank you to my panel this evening, to the lovely Sophie Richards as well. I know you're not doing much content, obviously, because you are well, expecting a baby, which is always nice to see. Obviously, I've got my one coming next week. I think it's sometime next week as well. But
Exciting.
tell the people where they can find you.
Thank you. Obviously, my channel is Ladies in Red. Sophie Richards on Twitter, Sophie Richards with a kiss on the end of it on Instagram as well. Please give me a follow there. I will be doing content very, very soon. I'll be on maternity leave shortly, so hopefully I can get a few videos in before little one arrives. But yeah, obviously, thank you to everyone who's been really patient with me. I appreciate it through this time. But I promise you, I will be back soon. I will be doing a call-in show as well soon, so I need to catch up with everybody. But thanks for getting me on, Doug. I appreciate it, and lovely to meet Ray and John as well. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much. And thank you for subscribing as well. And thanks for following me on Twitter as well.
No problem.
It's an absolute pleasure to get you on. And yeah, I do wish you the best of luck for the rest of your pregnancy.
Same to you and Rebecca, of course.
Is it your first?
Thank you.
Is it your first baby?
It is, yeah. I'm having a little girl.
Oh, that's nice.
This one for Dougie as well.
Yeah, my first one. Yeah, our due date's next week. So literally, guys, the live streams will be coming to a brief end shortly. But no, I'm really looking forward to obviously welcoming our wee baby son into the world as well. John, thank you very much.
I got one, but I haven't seen him for 14. I've seen him once in 14, 15, yeah. But you know, at the end of the day, I went up there a couple of years ago, and you know, it's what it is. But sad, but can't change it now.
Do you want one of mine, John? Do you want one of mine?
How many have you got? Have the naughty one, though.
What's that?
Have the naughty one, though. No problem.
How many have you got, Ray? 2.
I got 2, and they're at each other's throats, 14 and 16. And
wow.
they're always at each other's throats.
Teenagers. John, thank you very much for coming on, and obviously from all of us, we do wish you the best of luck for the Champions League, and yeah, just enjoy it, because that group is I mean, you're literally going to France, you're literally going to Germany, you're literally going to Italy. You guys are so lucky. But tell the people where they can find you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much indeed, mate. I should have gone to Milan today, but I couldn't get time off work, unfortunately. They wouldn't let us have time off. I'm gutted. But I've been to Milan before.
How dare they?
I love
How dare they?
Exactly. I'm going to Paris and Germany, though. Even if I haven't got a ticket, I'll go there for the crack as well. So I'm definitely going to go to Paris and Germany as well. So I can't wait. So yeah, where you can find us is just there, John Sinclair TV. I've got a content coming up at 9 o'clock, the match preview, the match action tomorrow. And I'm doing the previews and reviews. I'll do Global Mag as well. I do a lot of contents as well. It could be the 5 takeaways. It could be breaking news. It could be transfer update. Listen, if you're new to my channel, like you watch, then please hit the like button. I'm 4 away from 6,200. And you know what? I don't call people out. It's just a positive channel. So thank you.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. And don't take any notice of anybody who wants to, just push you up their own way. Like, just literally, I've learned to deal with people like that.
You know what it is, right? I mean, I'll make it quick, and I know you got to fly, but at the end of the day, right? I mean, we should be talking about Newcastle United. We should be talking about the players, the exciting players coming through. We should talk about football. But there's a couple of podcasters, right? I'm not going to mention on here, like to call us out. I've done nothing wrong, yeah? So at the end of the day, right, I mean, I've done nothing wrong. Just, like I said, ignore the trolls, ignore the haters, right? If they're going to have a go at you, ignore them. Just block and ignore. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they're not going to win. They're not going to win us. They're not going to win us.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ray, thank you very much for making your debut on tonight's show. I really do appreciate it. Tell the people where they can find you.
Yeah, no worries, mate. City Fan TV on YouTube. I'm still on Twitter. Don't do as much as I used to. Still trying to get us back into the content on YouTube, which is Done quite a bit actually in the last few months. Channel's done really well. Werner's been on a lot as well. So all the grannies are clicking and subscribe on my channel. There. He knows he's the hunk. He's the hunk for them. But yes, City Fan TV on YouTube is the place to find us.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, guys, Sophie's channel link, and Ray's channel link are in the description as well. I will add John's as well. Please go and check John Sinclair out as well. But do leave a like on this video. Do hit that like button. Do hit that subscribe button on my channel, on Sophie's channel, on Ray's channel, on John's channel. All 3 fantastic channels as well. I will be back on Wednesday, and that will be my final live stream until baby is born. I've decided I am taking a bit of a break. And yeah, I'm just going to enjoy some family time. I'm really looking forward to it as well. But thank you to everyone who has watched in the comments as well. Sorry, if I didn't get to your comment, I didn't read that out, and I do apologise. But do leave a comment after the video, and I will get back to you as well. But from myself, from Sophie, from John, from Ray, it is good night, and yeah, enjoy the Champions League. I know that we're not winning at this moment in time, enjoy Nottingham Forest Burnley if you're going to do that as well. So good night.
Good night.